for March. This is really this state of the world. How can we change the state of the world in positive ways? If we think of the collective as anything with consciousness, the important thing when reading something like this is getting the questions right. The Celtic cross is good for that. What is the state of the world? What is the heart of the matter for the state of the world? At the bottom of the deck right now is the tower. This is disruption. A tower is a reset. A tower is a recalibration, a redirection. It is a change which is needed. This card came out a little while ago, and it is a card of defending, card of being defensive, card of struggle. So we have both the Tower and the Seven of Wands. We have disruption, we have struggle, but we also have the Ace of Cups. Emotions overflowing. There are breakthroughs, there are new ideas, new emotions, there is a new time. There are many people with compassion. There are other people with difficult emotions. How many of the beings on the face of the planet are worrying, are loving, are angry, or are passionate, or are curious? What is going on? So let's look at what is the state of the world? What is the heart of the matter? Okay, it's ready. So what is the heart of the matter for the state of the world, for all of the collective? The phrase is generosity of spirit, the ability to give and take, the ability to cooperate, to get along, to share, paying debts, receiving payment. It's an exchange of energy. And this way up, it is a positive exchange. There are hands reaching up. These are beggars. And this is a person who has abundance. Are they sharing with them? What is behind this? So it's really, how do we feel about giving and receiving? It can be a gift you're giving to someone. It can be a gift given to you. So what is the energy that crosses this sense of give and take and a sense of balance? It's the Knight of Cups. The Knight of Cups is a message of love. There are messages of love and support. The world is a beautiful place. It is full of beings who are uniquely talented in so many ways. So our theme right now seems to be giving and taking and love. Let's see what is underlying here. What is underlying in this message for the collective? The Fool. We can be feeling foolish. We can be feeling like things are new and fresh and interesting. The Fool is not afraid. The Fool steps out, takes a leap, takes a risk. The Fool is in love with the idea of the world itself, what is out there. Fool energy is innocence and openness, and it can be foolish. What do we see in the past position? What is in the recent past for the collective? Now, recent past for the collective may mean something entirely different than last week, last year, last month, last decade, last century. But what is it? What is it that the collective is moving out of, moving away from? What is the recent past? What is the past that we were moving away from? That is so interesting. That is complex energy. That is attachments. That is entanglements. It is toxic and sticky and dark and very strong and powerful. It's all sorts of things that you can be addicted to. It's all sorts of emotions that entangle people. It's manipulation. The collective is moving away from that energy. And what is above? So we have below. What is above? A time of manifesting. And this is a manifesting of this energy, the resources. This is making more available. Not necessarily more money, more resources in that material sense, but it's all sorts of resources. It's making it a more abundant place. There is, what's speaking to me is there is energy that wants to be spread out and not held. It's not necessarily talking about resources sharing with people, not talking about throwing money at things. But that can be part of it. It feels more like the ability of people not to have to hold on. It's sharing. Again, it's not the kind of sharing. It's not welfare. It's not splitting things up evenly between people. It's an attitude and a perspective. This is the doorway. The doorway goes to the water. The doorway goes to emotion. It also goes to the star, which is the Ace of Pentacles, which is healing. It's hope and healing and possibility. It's the kind of energy that allows things to be good and does not keep them from happening because of some sort of selfishness. Open mind, this open attitude, this playfulness, there is openness. It does not close down. Let's see what is in the future, the near future for the collective. It is one of temperance. On this side, we have the excesses. On this side, we have the moderation. It is all balancing out. And in the center, we have this clean energy with love. Temperance is the ability to control what we say, what we do, how we act, how we interact. It's the kind of balance that takes into consideration the effects of everything that we do or say, or how we act. Temperance can be not saying something mean, not saying something that you really want to say, thinking about what you are doing, thinking about the actions that you take, and looking at how those affect you, your family, the people around you, and the world in general. Things are out of balance. There is a film that this brings to mind, that this might be Chianoscazzi. It was a film about life out of balance. And the energy that I feel around us in the world today is life out of balance in so many ways. That this really speaks to me right here about where the collective really wants to be. We do not want to feel the energies that some of us are feeling around the strife and the struggle and the starvation and the abuses and all of the things that make the world head in this direction. There is a selfish energy, and even immature, if you really get right down to it, something that takes pleasure in creating playthings instead of creating things of beauty and creating things that are actually have lasting value, that actually mean something, that actually help the world become a better place. And that really sounds quite preachy. Let me see if I can do better. We need to express our love for ourselves. We need to express our love for others. We need to express our love for the world in the same way. That is happening in some places today, but it is not happening everywhere, and it can. All things are possible. And at the bottom we see this is happening. This change is occurring. And again, this is the timeline of the collective, which is different from the timeline of the clock and the calendar and the months and the days and the years. So let's look at what the collective energy is at this moment. What is the collective at this moment? There are 2 cards. There's more than 2 ways to think of these 2 cards together. The King of Pentacles is very grounded earth energy. The Knight of Cups is happiness, and it looks a little like winning the lottery. Something happening that you might never have expected. What is the message here? What is the collective? We are grounded and we are practical, and yet we wish for a thing that we do not expect. We're not convinced it can happen. And some of us are skeptics, but some of us do feel that things are changing. And this is the material world and the emotional world together. We want to be practical, yet we hope for things that we dare not because we might be disappointed. I think we are moving towards temperance, and I want to see what that environment looks like. So tell me, what is the environment? Is this something that we can do? You know something? I think it could be this, but we'll see. The Knight of Pentacles. This one is definitely the environment. This is definitely the environment. Our environment is one where there's work to be done. This is the work of the light worker. This is the work of the person on a spiritual quest. This is the work that remains to be done to make the world whole again in this way. What are the collective hopes and fears? We have 2 cards. Some of us are disappointed. We feel afraid that the things that we have been working on are not turning out as hoped and not as quickly as hoped. And this card on the right is the fear of those who would drag us in this direction and wish to dominate us. We do have more work to do. We know we have work to do. The Emperor can be kind, but the Emperor has that power. And they say with great power comes great responsibility, and with too much power, or with infinite power, the kind of power that an emperor has, there also comes corruption. Because humans throughout history have learned that once you have power, if you have all the power, it can corrupt you completely. So I think that is something that we struggle with. If that is true, and I believe it to be true in most, if not all cases, then the situation that we fear, it can be the fear that if we have so much power, what will we do? If we had unlimited power, what would we really do? Would we control people? Would we try to conquer people? Some of us would. What of the consciousness of the collective doesn't understand that this is a dangerous place to go? I don't think that's necessarily the intent of that card, but as a fear, it can be a hope as well, that each one of us has this power over ourselves, that we ultimately control only ourselves. And this could be the fear that all of our efforts will fail, but it could also be the hope that what comes out after the work is done is really worthwhile. So let's see what the outcome is for the collective. There is balance. And I think of the Two of Cups as all sides recognizing the value of one another. It's a balance. It's a relationship that doesn't have someone who is under or above, and it does not have, it's a collaboration, it's harmony, it's sharing in a sense of balance. Is that achievable? That outcome is there. Is it achievable? Let's see what is at the bottom. The Queen of Cups. So we have the Knight of Cups and we have the Queen of Cups. And we have the Hanged Man. And we have, every time I see it, I just have to think that this is the refugees. Things are hanging in the balance. There is a lot of compassion at work, and we are waiting for answers. We are waiting for a new way. This situation, this feeling of abandonment, is something that has come up in many of the readings over the last couple of years for people in general, and not just in the current times. And for the collective, I always say that this card is a matter of perspective. But if we are feeling as though there is no hope, if we're feeling hopeless, defeated, or impoverished, often it only takes changing your perspective a little bit. And changing your perspective with the Hanged Man is also possible. But we are waiting for something. There is energy here, and there is our tower. And there's a magician under the tower. And there's our anxiety. And where so many of us have been over the last several years. But we had this. So this is a coming together of people, and we are looking for the justice. And we have been looking in that direction for quite some time. Again, history, not the last couple of years. So I don't know if this helps anyone. I think this is actually directed towards Lightworkers. I know it's a reading for the collective, and the Lightworkers are the ones who are connected up to that collective. So this I will leave here, and I hope you get some comfort from it, because I think it is a lot of work to be done. That is being done, that will get us to this. Thank you very much.